Hello everybody, sorry I had a hiccup there. Sometimes going on the 401 you get swamped with cars. Today is excellent weather and the plus is here, and she's a busy one, so sometimes I'll kind of be like, oh boy, I'm in the thick of it, and you forget the topic that you're trying to share. And it was a big one, and I'm thinking, and come to mind, it's boosters. What is and isn't disclosure by the manufacturers? Absolutely. And for all Canadians, First Peoples, there are very, very few manufacturers. Those manufacturers largely are represented by the UNSCP 5. Almost exclusively just them. Almost. There's a couple out there, but let's be real. The major supply and value chains and all the engineering, the whole world drive came from those five and those five alone. Look at all the titles. Even France got in there in the end. They rolled it all out. They did all the work. Their manufacturers hold all truths. When you get other countries using their health systems to propagate, or political parties who go for the name of power, whether it's through corruption or not, they come up with their own narratives, and we're going to sort all that out. And I'm going to tell you, by generally all manufacturers, at least for mRNA vaccines, I can tell you this. Boosters, semi-annual, it's always been there. People talk about, oh, but they're talking about every 3 months now. No, they're not. Just like all kinds of other drugs out there, including one from the family SARS-CoV to influenza, the family of influenza. I want people to understand this. There's no cure for those, and there's no one injection saves anybody and makes you immune for the rest of your life. That's not how it works. There's no cure for any virus. They come up with new drugs and treatments, and some of these viruses mutate and create variants all the time. Influenza's been that way all the time. The common cold been that way all the time. Evolves as we evolve, sometimes faster. This is the same for this SARS-CoV and a family of them. And that's what COVID-19 is, one of those spin-offs. And I'm going to tell you, boosters, you're good to 3 or 4. And then guess what? Like anything else in these families of those type, they mutate, they change direction completely. They require something else, an upgrade, not a booster. The booster reminds your body to produce the required T cells. It's all white cell related, and education to your system. The virus will work to get around that. They come up with all kinds of new drugs and treatments all the time. It's only going to keep coming and coming. Just like Tylenol 1, 2, and 3, just like many other drugs out there. Suppress symptoms, make you less able to transmit, make you more functionable. That's the only place we're ever going to go. No one's lied to you about this. Who's lied to you about this? When I say no one's lied to you, the manufacturers never lied to you about this. Not from day one. Never lied to you. The reality is these things change. They've already been crafting new treatments, new vaccine rollouts. Third booster by March, there will be an entirely new vaccine should you want it. If the variants that have weakened substantially over the time, I'm going to tell you, Omicron promises to be much milder. The government says don't take your foot off the gas. Got to keep going on this. We're going to see, because we're going to see what experts say. What I've seen at work, what a lot of people have seen, is exactly what's been shared by the experts, those with the vaccines, those who create the drugs, those with it isolated. those with all the value and supply chains. They don't say anything your politicians say, not even remotely close, ladies and gentlemen. It is coming on to be an endemic. Now, I'm not saying that for unvaccinated people or immune compromised. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying for those who followed the protocols, kept up to date, largely, this is going to be an endemic. We're going to get into it seriously tomorrow. But I'm here today to tell you on this video, Justin Trudeau is full of shit. It's all political. Everything he's saying and trying to roll out, buying many boosters over years to come, those are going to be replaced by March, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? Pfizer cutting edge on all this stuff, as they are on lots of drugs, because, newsflash, that's been their business for more than 100 years. It's been their primary business, and they're good at it. I'm going to tell you again, there is no vaccine for COVID-19 for under the age of 5. Now, Pfizer has taken, I can tell you this, yes, Bill Gates and other entrepreneurs in the billionaire category have pledged money to these corporates to try and develop under 5 vaccines. I'm going to state it again. Pfizer has taken the money, they've worked on it. It hasn't been rolled out. Doesn't look like it's going to be rolled out anytime soon. They just rolled out 12 to 17 after 2 years of COVID. Real time, ladies and gentlemen. They have a pill you can take. If you don't want a vaccine, you can take an oral pill that will provide a level of immunity, at least suppress the virus before it embeds itself into your lungs. That's coming on the shelves ASAP. You don't want to vaccinate? That's available treatment. Just like people want to, you want to do a Tylenol, or you want to do a T3, or you want to do, you know what I mean? That's what's coming. Another whole new vaccine for Omicron. They're rolling that out in March. If you're not up to date from your second dose within your 6 months, they're saying it can be as early as 5 months. The Canadian government says 3 months. Pfizer does not say that. Pfizer does not say that. Pfizer says 6 months. CDC went through it. They voted on 5 months. Canada, Justin Trudeau, Aaron O'Toole, Jagmeet Singh, and all their special interest groups attached have made a deal. They say 3 months. That's not what the manufacturers say. Go look yourself. Manufacturer states, at least Pfizer, by middle to end of March, they will roll out an Omicron specific vaccine, not a booster. It's not a booster. It's a brand new variant tackling vaccine. It's not a booster. Justin Trudeau has pledged 100 million more vaccines that largely, as we hit this endemic, because that's how weak Omicron is coming in, and once infected, yes, you will have immunity. Will that be immune against Delta? I don't know. It might be a little bit. Vaccines take care of Delta. mRNA do. This is where we're at. It's largely an endemic for the vast majority of the population in Canada, who are double and triple and some fourth dosed. But come March, there's a brand new rollout, brand new vaccine, which means boosters, nope. This is the problem with politicians in Canada. They politicize things. They create their own spin-offs. They try to manipulate the people into giving them more power, more free reign over your money, and using fear and propaganda. They are just as bad, if not worse, than the anti-vaxxer groups. Now people are saying, I can't say anything. It's subversive against the government. The truth is never subversive against the government. Autocrats and dictators make those laws. I'm not scared of the RCMP. They're welcome to give it their best shot, as my next video, 4:30 p.m. tomorrow, is going to deliver massive. Now, some people are going to be angry at me. I'm going to state it all, but I can't state it now because I can't have the floor swept out from under me. I'm going to finish. I have things I must do in this world, and I'll go through it tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. That's my video. Look at the manufacturers. Look at what they state. Those who made the vaccines. I believe currently there are only 7 nation manufacturers in this world. That's it. That's all out of 193 nations. Canada is not one of them. Don't take advice from Canada against manufacturers. And I talked to guys at work about this today. I'm a welder. If I went and said, hey, look, the procedure calls for this specific alloy to ensure that this piece of equipment will run in the manner it's designed for, and I turn around and say, I'm not going to use that electrode to weld. I'm going to ignore the manufacturer's specifications. In fact, I'm going to throw away QC and quality control and all non-destructive testing completed many, many times and now cemented in actual engineering by the professionals. And I say, trust me, I'm going to do it with something else outside of the procedure. I'm not going to bother following the manufacturer's guidance or even practicing any quality control, quality assurance, or any kind of testing whatsoever. I'm just going to make it up as I go. How long before I'm fired? How long before there's a critical failure? I can tell you, plants have blown up all over the world from those exact choices. Many people have died in workplace injuries from those exact choices. Why on earth would it be any different with a manufactured vaccine? Why would it be any different? Why would Canadian health officials who had nothing to do, absolutely, again, I'm going to say nothing to do with the creation of the vaccines, because they don't work for the companies, and the companies would not release that to the government. They released for approval. They stated their manufacturer claims. They stated clearly what they are bringing forward, what they have and haven't done in emergency use, an experiment, but please follow the experiment this way. Many chose to do it. I'm one of those. Was there a lot of pressure in Canada? Absolutely. Are there mandates in Canada? Absolutely. Is it justified? We will see. So far, it looks justified. What's not justified is changing manufacturer stated applications and applying your own. That's not cool. It's not cool to tell pregnant women to take a shot and even administer a shot when the manufacturer says, no, don't do that. It's not cool to tell women who've had children and are breastfeeding it's okay to have the vaccine. It won't hurt your child. When the manufacturer says, don't do that. We don't have a test for that. We don't have any kind of work on that. Like I'm going to tell you, they are working on that, but that hasn't come to fruition yet. We're nowhere near there. And Canada's been pumping that out for many, many months. On whose authority? The Crown's authority as Prime Minister or Premier through appointed, absolutely appointed health officials operating under that Crown. Full immunity, zero accountability, zero rules of governance largely, and zero ability on how to govern. They do whatever they want, whatever looks good politically, whatever installs fear. That's wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. In my explosive video tomorrow, 4:30 Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, You'll all get to see that and what I'm rolling out for. We're going to see. Because I've had enough of the corruption of Canada, and I have this opportunity. I'm taking it, and then we're all going to see what you all think. Thanks. That's my video. Share, share, share. Don't be down. Just be down against the crown. It's your government that's to blame for everything. Stop blaming the UN. Stop blaming billionaires. They're always going to be billionaires. They're always going to love money, and they're always going to go for money. And they will exploit any way to get it if a government makes it that readily available and that easy. Canada is one of the worst in the world. When you talk about NWO, it is Canada who leads the NWO. They're in the top 3. That's some pretty scary stuff. And why so many Canadians from so many different political parties, and you can see the loyalty there, won't address it, won't look at it as it really is. Like many, many organizations all over the world, billionaires, manufacturers, pharmaceuticals, everyone runs to blame them. But they told you all these truths from the very beginning. From the absolute very beginning. It was your government who chose to stray. It was your government who imposed. Do you think those vaccine companies did anything like this in the United States of America? No, they didn't. They didn't do it in Russia. They didn't. They didn't do it in China that way. Nope. They didn't. Everybody does their politics their way, and some are cruel, obscene, and gross, like the country of Canada. Justin Trudeau is currently the worst of the worst. There have been many before him, and there will be many more to come if we leave this country as it is. It will never get better, it will only get worse. Because you can't give a divinity of crown. You can't give that and think that that is somehow going to make people good, and you can trust them and they'll be honest and they care about you. These people, under the definition of crown, divinity of crown, and how the monarchy systems are designed in this world, as they have been in entirety since their inception more than 900 years ago, has always been that they are gods. You know what I see around Canada? When I've gone all over the world and I've looked at other real democracies, real republics, those leaders don't think of themselves as gods. And you see it in everyday Canadians. Oh, I believe Jesus told me, or I believe that God wants me to do this. I was destined for it. Do you know who talks exactly like that? Do you know what systems in this earth today have that exact narrative under their leadership? Constitutionally bound or by charter is absolutely constitutional monarchies. Every king and queen in this world, all of their families, they all believe, as it's been mandated and passed down in customary law, that God chose their family for this, that they are righteous by God, that they are basically doing God's will for all of you, and that it's their divine right over you. That will never change. And the only way it can change is through constitutionalism and abolishing the crown. This is what Canadians need to talk about. These are the conversations we have to have at the provincial and federal levels of crown. And absolutely, as Canada presents itself internationally under the royal family, all three must be addressed. I can address the international royal family. I have that power. I can get that done. I've even got Canada isolated somewhat, but it is tough as a UN state. I just have to get the UN Charter breaks. And it certainly helps when people share, when people repeat. I see the comments, oh, this guy jibber jabber, always the same topic. You have to repeat the truth many, many times. There are literally a vast majority of Canadians who are institutionalized in the system. It's a very old system. many of the immigrants in Canada, in all of our history, including today, come largely from Commonwealth countries, largely by a whopping majority who are all institutionalized themselves. This is what we have to stop. This is what we have to break. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry I missed it on the first video, but we got it on this one. And tomorrow's huge. Stay tuned for it. Thanks, everybody. Bye now.